Okay, good afternoon, all. Hope everyone is well. Karina, good morning to you. Yeah, it is a little bit, isn't it? That ATR's high. Hopefully, it'll settle down a bit. So we have got Trump speaking at 7:30 later, but nothing that's going to affect us now. We did have some unemployment claims, but I was actually at the chart there. It didn't really do anything. So finally getting some warmer weather in the UK today. It's absolutely lovely out there. Sun shining. It's about 14 degrees centigrade, which for this time of year is quite mild, actually. So there you go. Let's see what happens today. Now, I did take two of my accounts, the lower, newer ones. I was trading a little bit last night on the minute and 2 minute. Part NQ, part ES, just kind of getting a feel for a different time frame just to see, what it produces. And I just got little bits here or there. It was quite refreshing, actually, trading something different, but it's just because they're newer accounts, but I'm going to lock those off later. So it looks like, let's have a look. So overnight we've had this spike down. It looks like a channel. Now I did take a small trade on that one there. It was a second entry, trapping the higher low, big strong bull bar, bouncing off here, trapping the higher low. I like that. Clearly fourth touch on there. Then there was a lower high and a failure, so it worked. So why has that come up? What am I missing? Oh, okay, it's all right. I've just got a big blank space above my head. It's where this chart was. I'm finally losing my mind. So, yeah, I like that, actually. Second entry short. I wouldn't always take those, but what I like is there's a higher low there. We got two legs down, bullet, big, strong push, higher low, which triggers and starts to come back, and it's off that key entry point. So I think that was worth taking. Now, it was on just one of my accounts. That is one of the lower ones, so I don't mind taking that. That ATI is a little high, and I wouldn't have taken that with a bunch of accounts, but with the one, I didn't mind. Exponential, how you doing, buddy? Tony, how you doing, mate? So, excuse me a sec, I'm missing a phone. Bear me. Sorry about that. Probably look a bit dark for a while. It takes a few seconds to kick in, this thing, does it? It's okay. I was just about to look at crypto. It's not really doing much, to be honest with you. Let me see. Market is open. Bitcoin just under 90,000. Let's have a look. H-bar is my newest assignment. It's just not doing much at the moment. Just more or less what I got in. So Sue is up. I've got a little bit of Suey. I've done all right out of Suey. I didn't put much in, about £300, but when it doubled, I took my £300 out and left it. What I try and do is, I was advised to do that. Trouble is, it's okay waiting for the top, but you never know quite where the top is and how long you should hold. So what I did do is, when I got my initial money back, when it doubled, I took my initial stake out, and I'm technically dealing with free money then. So I'll tell you what I do watch, if anybody is interested in crypto, and this guy is so accurate, it's unreal. Now, bearing in mind he actually trades, he doesn't kind of spot buy. But this guy is so accurate. Where is he? He looks like some kind of a beast of Bodmin Moore at the moment. He actually lives in Dubai now, but I think he's originally from New Zealand. Where is he? This guy's so accurate. But I can't find him now. Hate that. Whenever you don't want to find someone, they're everywhere. This guy here. Yeah, he is so accurate. It's unreal. Yeah, he looks like a bit of a what's it now, but I just not so much that I take his trades, but I just kind of earmark. I noticed he was quite right a few times, so I just earmarked where he got in and where he took his trades, and he's really accurate. But he's originally from New Zealand. But if you want someone to follow, I think he's good if anybody's interested in crypto. There's a few people are watching crypto. So Daryl, how you doing, buddy? Jan, good morning to you. I did update my news this morning. I noticed there was a few little extras there. Speedy, how you doing, pal? So market is open. These bars seem to be getting a little bit smaller since the open. So hopefully that ATR should come down into line a little bit. Let me just check. My accounts are all opening.
Order submitted.
51. Why isn't that working? Why isn't 51 working? Let's just close this down a minute. Is it there?
Order cancelled.
Okay. Okay. Let's try again.
Order submitted.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, it's okay.
Order cancelled.
I've taken one out of the game at the moment. Okay, so yeah, it's slowing down a little bit, isn't it? That ATR's come down already. I mean, you can see these bars since the open, can't you? A lot smaller, half the size of these, so hopefully that should keep coming down. I was going to say something to you guys last night. I was thinking about it. What was it? What was it? So if any of you guys have got a small break there, have you? Let me just put that there. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's... Oh, something's moved. It's okay, something's moved. So I reloaded it. Something's moved, that's all. Okay, that fits nice. We've got a touch there. It looks like a spike and channel. Touch, touch, touch. And that was the trade I took there. Then there was a lower high. I actually preferred that one than the lower high. Then you had the failure and eventually it came down. But that's the one I preferred. You got a higher low there. There's going to be traders trapped there. And once that pushed down, and it's clearly touch, touch, touch. It's the fourth touch of that. Bottom's fitting nice. So ATR's a bit high, which is why I only took it on one of my lower accounts. What I have a tendency to do is when I get these accounts that are a little bit lower, and I initially had that, I had a couple of new accounts or a few new accounts, and then I had that $500 loss. So there was a few accounts which I've traded to get them back into line, back into the green a little bit more aggressively. Now, normally, I think on the other chart, it was about nearly a 5-point risk, which is a little bit more than I really wanted, but it was worth taking, I think, just on the one account. But this thing, so we're almost at yesterday's lows, aren't we? So really, the last 2 days have more or less just been, why can I not do that? Have just been more or less ranging. We've come up these highs here and down to these levels. So really, and up here again. So with the exception of this push down, the last couple of days are more or less we've been going down, up, down, up. So more or less ranging. So I'm guessing, why can I not squeeze this? It's a pain in the arse. How many days I got loaded? 7. So I'm guessing we may have a bounce down here somewhere. Okay, so down to the bottom of that channel. Let's see where we go here. I just poured myself that before the stream. 10-year-old Lafroig. Helps keep you calm. Effects of drinking on the job. To be honest with you, I can handle that stuff quite well. It's only a double, so it's the equivalent of a pint of beer, so it's not a huge amount. I tell you what, I probably told you this before, but maybe about a year ago, maybe a little bit more, probably a year ago, we had a 90% off. And I opened a bottle. I forget what it was now. I opened a bottle on the stream, and I had one. And then after the stream, well, I had a couple during the stream. It was towards the end of the stream. I think it was on a Friday, and I had a few more, and I had a few more, and I think after about an hour, I'd got 10 new evaluations, blown 10 new evaluations. So too much doesn't work. A little nip does help with your nerves. I don't. Maybe a couple of days I'll have a couple here or there, but I don't generally drink on the stream. That midline's fitting lovely there, but that's the good thing about working for yourself. But it's only a double, so it's only the equivalent of a pint of beer. I could have 7 or 8 or 9 of them and I'll be fine, but it does take the edge off it, but it's not a good habit to get into. See, whiskey for me is like having a really high quality cheese or something like that. It's just intense. I don't know about the first. I don't know. Do you get blue cheese over there? You get Stilton, don't you? You guys know what Stilton is, of course you do. I remember tasting stuff like that as a kid and finding it absolutely disgusting now, but something like Stilton. There's another one I like. I'm quite a cheese fan, actually. We are in this house. What's it called? Not Gouda. What's it called that I like? Is it Gouda? Can't remember. It's just amazing. Some of these cheeses out there. I am a whiskey and a cheese fan. I used to drink red wine as well, but once I started drinking whiskey about sort of 10, 12 years ago, wine just tastes like weak dishwater to me. Trouble is, when you get a taste for something stronger, it just does nothing. Okay, so channel with a break. And a new extreme, so that's played out now. At the moment, this for me is bearish. So there is a higher low there, but as we know, market likes to move in twos. So I always like to see 2 pushes, but this thing is bearish, so that is vulnerable. There's going to be 2 lots there, so if it holds on this midline, it'll push up. But my guess is it's yeah, there we go. My guess is channel with a break. They're a bit sideways, a bit congested. So for me, they were vulnerable. On these 2 other accounts, that's the type of trade I've been trading, where I think bars are trapped. I very nearly got into that one there on a limit order, because for me, that was going to get stopped out all day long, because it's a strong bull bar and clearly a downtrend at the moment. So if you got in that somewhere, put your stop there. It eventually worked. But that's why I've been trading these other 2 accounts, and they're working really well. Strongest drink is Pepsi Max. I do like. I have my little snack. I'll have my little evening snack. I do. What they're called? Chip shop curry sauce crisps. I'm mad on them, to be honest with you. I usually have, every night I have a Pepsi or I tend to drink over here more of Coke Zero, I think, and a pack of crisps or a crisp sandwich. Nothing nicer than some nice bread, some nice butter, and a crisp sandwich. So see, because I don't have to get up mega early, my wife and daughter tend to go to bed a bit early, so I sit up over night time. Got to say, when I first started drinking whiskey, I found it disgusting. In fact, the first time I ever tried whiskey was about 20 years ago. I worked for a company, and there was an American guy started working for the company, and he came over, and I got invited round to the boss's house one night, and he bought a bottle of some bourbon. I can't remember what it was. I've mentioned it before. It's the one with it's dipped in the plastic. I can't remember what it's called. And I thought it was disgusting. I was like, no, I don't want the. I'll drink something else. But you know, Americans can be quite a lot of hospitality like. So I went with it, and in the end, and I think we shared the bottle between three of us. And actually, it was quite a pleasant way of getting a little bit tipsy. The trouble is, if you're beer drinkers, I'm not so much of a beer drinker. Once I have a few, I tend to get a bit bloated. So it was actually quite a pleasant way of having a few drinks without that bloatedness. And from then on, whenever I had a few beers and I got a bit bloated, I'd have a couple of whiskies. But I think somebody bought a bottle of single malt for my 40th birthday, which is about 15 years ago now. And ever since then, the thing is with single malt, especially when you buy a bottle and you drink the whole bottle, you really get to know it well. I didn't used to be able to distinguish whiskies apart, but I can tell a Lafroig from a Glenlivet. I can tell a Glenlivet. You can really tell them apart once you start to drink them. But initially, it's like curries, I suppose. Some people can eat hot curries. Some people tend to not. But the general rule of thumb is with curries, the hotter it is, the less kind of flavour and taste you get. But with whiskies, you really get to know a whiskey well. Some of my favourite whiskies, I can tell a million miles away from another one. It's quite uncanny, but it takes a bit of time. So clearly coming down at the moment. Is this going to drop out at the bottom? My gut feeling says it probably is. So just for a bit of fun, I'm going to do this. Let's see what my skill level's like when it comes to thinking what the market's going to do. A lot of times when we get that spike in channel, we drop out the bottom. But not this time. Let's get rid of that and just put that there. So that's where I think prices are going. Out the bottom. We've got yesterday's lows here. So if we can get down to yesterday's lows, it's going to take us right down here. And then we got Tuesday's lows there. So it is pretty much just ranging at the moment, which is what it's been doing for a long time now. Let me just have a look at the daily. I mean, we have had a lot of, strangely enough, I've never paid attention to the, what's it called? VWAP. Never really paid attention to VWAP before, but look at that. Pushed up, bounced off it there, bounced off it there. We're very close to it here. In fact, we're on it. Let me just hide these. We're actually more or less on it. So, I mean, it's been so bearish, isn't it, really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. 10 days, we're down over 400 points. So, it'd be interesting to see what happens here. we've cleared all that. A lot of the times, if we kind of range, which we more or less have, a lot of times when we do break below, obviously we retest, don't we? And now we're at VWAP or more or less, or bar, I don't know, maybe a few ticks, not far off, a few points. Be interesting to see where this goes now, but I'll be surprised if this does continue down. Now, obviously, we've got all these things with the tariffs and all that, which is giving it some slight negativity out there. It's a strong bottom from September, yeah. I mean, generally, when we do that, you know, we kind of range, which we more or less have, really. I think that's from, is that from, excuse me a sec. We've been doing this. It's more or less here. That which was, when's this? This has got to be back November time, isn't it? There's November. Well, actually, yeah, October, early October, end of September, early October. We bounced, pushed up, bounced again, up to the top, down the bottom, up to the top, down again, and we're out the bottom. Now, most ranges, which we know, kind of fail. So whether it will drop below any of these, but we are coming close to VWAP. As I say, I don't generally use this as my anything to do with my strategy, but you can see how it plays apart from time. Obviously, occasionally we drop through it, but you know, if you've got a strong buying bar off here, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? And so on and so forth. So it'd be interesting to see. Sometimes I'll put these things on just out of curiosity, just to see how you doing, Michael? Anyway, just to see how prices react to them. So we've had three little sort of stems, haven't we? Which was, I doubt that's going to happen now, is it? But it may do. But we've had kind of three little stems. So we've got a leg and a bearish bar, but then it's pulled back. So a lower high here might not be terrible. So we got a leg and a leg. Let's see what happens here now. That's a little bit of support across there. So small risk that. Well, I say small, 9 ticks, but you'd have probably got something out of that. Not my type of trade, but if you took that, you probably got comfortably a couple of points, I'd say. Okay, let's see how this reacts. Bearing in mind that daily, we've had three little bounces there, so I mean, it's crunch time here. Is this thing going to turn up? I wouldn't be shocked. Hopefully all this stuff with the tariffs, I think that's probably the majority of it, isn't it, with the tariffs? Hopefully that'll get sorted out. You know, they're kind of at stalemate. It's not good for either Canadians or US, really, is it? So hopefully that gets sorted out and they can agree somewhere, and that may settle the markets a little bit. Okay, so I like that channel. It's fitting nice. We didn't get right down to the bottoms like we did here, so that may be why we have a break. But that's a reasonable channel, so I'd expect a little bit more than just a small break. I'd expect something like that, somewhere along those lines. It was, yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, you've got to stand your ground, haven't you? It's not good for any side. Well, I say it's not good for any side. The people that are going to suffer are the people, aren't they? Really, there's no two ways about it. If it costs more to import stuff into the US, they're going to put it on the prices. But yeah, I mean, he can go to Europe, can't he? He can go to the Far East. You know, you've got to stand your ground. He comes over as a smart fella, doesn't he? And hopefully all this stuff with Ukraine will get sorted out. I know he sent a letter, didn't he? Zelensky sent a letter, so hopefully things will settle and we can. Because the S&P 500 up until a few months ago had done really well. We were just bouncing off all-time highs every other day or every other week, weren't we? But obviously, since kind of Trump came in, it's been very kind of rocky. I suppose, as a new president, you naturally want to sort of, put your foot down, make your changes and do a few things. But it's had a kind of uneasy, sort of reaction on the markets. But you don't know what his end game is, really. I suppose you like to think the things he does are for a reason. But hopefully things should kind of settle down. Get them. I'm open so as well because I watched Trump long time. I say a long time. It's quite a while ago. Obviously, he was pro crypto. So any crypto holders was kind of looking forward in a way to sort of getting him in office. But crypto's kind of stagnant. We had a little pump maybe a week or so ago. But I believe hasn't he got a meeting with some of the developers or something of certain cryptocurrencies soon. So hopefully, you don't realise how much power one person has. I mean, even people like Elon Musk. I mean, if Elon Musk mentions the word Doge, it kind of pumps 15%. Really, you don't. It's amazing how much. Should someone have that much power that they can speak and markets move? I don't know, who knows? But hopefully things settle. So we've got that push up with a break. We got nice touches along there. I like that. Touch. It's fitting beautifully along that midline. You can see it fitting lovely there. Nice there. Same again here, there. It doesn't fit any nicer around the midline. Touch. Didn't quite get to the bottom there. A lot of the times when I see that happen, often it leads to a break. Now, it got close enough, so I didn't expect a break, but we got one nonetheless. But I wouldn't expect a break like that, and it's a push straight down for a new low with such a big channel. For me, the bigger the channel down, the more of a move we make before we eventually make a new low. So I'm guessing, for me, it's probably going to make another attempt higher, a couple of decent size attempts. So, in fact, I've just ordered something from Canada this morning. Actually, I know when I've ordered stuff from the US before, you got import tax. So I don't know how it works from Canada. Canada's part of the Commonwealth, so does that make a difference? Oh, who knows? Yeah, he comes over as a smart fella, doesn't he? Justin Trudeau, he does. Obviously, he's a bit younger than Trump, isn't he? But you've got to stand your ground, haven't you? You've got to, dig in and stand your ground. Whereas with Trump, he is a businessman, Trump. And I suppose, businessmen used to get in their own way. But you've got to stand up for yourself, haven't you? Your country, whatever. Okay, so kind of 2 legs back. Let's see if we get this second attempt to push higher. So Dan is looking at, more or less the same. Yeah, he is same thing as me. That's always nice to know. Touch, fitting nice at the bottoms, break. I would be surprised if this does come straight down with such a decent size channel. Having said that, it is quite a fair sized channel down, but in terms of points, it's not huge, is it? 49, but I'd still expect more than that and then straight down. It just generally doesn't do that. For me, the bigger the channel, the more messing around it does before it eventually moves down. Trudeau smart, oh boy. I said he comes over as a smart sounding fella. I don't really know him, to be honest with you. I don't follow politics massively, more in the UK, obviously. It affects me a little bit more in the UK. I tend to follow US stuff a little bit more, just because I'm trading, and you tend to kind of follow the news, and you generally have a kind of a bit of an idea, what's going on. But so I'm always nervous about taking shorts when we get that little break. And the only another thing I notice as well, if we do have a break and come down, for me it's usually because we've got a wider channel. So I'm expecting a little bit of a pullback here. So that bearish bar there, I wouldn't take that anyway. It's the move's made, but it'd be interesting to see if it breaks above there, because there's probably going to be some liquidity there and possibly up here as well. Well, I actually took a few, mate. I took one. I think it was the NQ. I took a couple of trades. I think it was on the minute or 2 minute last night. It's all right. I've got it switched over to the daily at the moment. Switch back over. It was a short. I think it was here somewhere. Okay, this may be the second push up I'm expecting. Why isn't that showing that trade? Where's my thing gone? Oh, have I switched it off? Ah, there we go. That one there. Oh, it looked a bit better. And that doesn't look like it did. It's completely changed, which is unusual. Hold on a minute. Something's changed. It looked a lot better than that. It was trapping a higher low. That was a big bearish bar. Surely, don't you guys remember me bringing that in? We'd had 4 touches. It's completely changed. It was a big bearish bar, trapping a higher low. I don't know what's going on there. I haven't updated anything. Odd. Okay, leg up. Second leg up before we come down. If we come down. Yeah, it's changed, mate, for some reason. It was absolutely a lovely bearish bar. It's turned into, well, complete opposite. You just see there, I've got the 2000. I did swap over to the daily and then swap back, so whether it updated things or changed things. Strange. So I'm guessing, well, let's put that second leg at the bottom there. Let's get this right. So I'm guessing something like that. Yeah, somewhere up here anyway. I'm guessing this thing will probably go. Something like that. Before it comes down. Such a big channel, it never just does that and pulls back. If it does, it's usually because there's a bigger channel, but that's fitting quite nice. And the bottom, I can't see any other anything else that's fitting. So we're close to that area now where I expect it to turn. So somewhere along those lines. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be a second. Okay. This is where I'm expecting it to turn if it's going to. Funny enough, on this other chart, we're up at, to VWAP as well, so I suppose this is where it may go. There are never any guarantees, but so we did get very close to yesterday's lows, didn't we? I'm still holding hope it pushes down. You do the same, do you? Yeah. I was just playing around with a 1 minute and 2 minute charts just to see how it kind of works. So I was just taking bits. I probably took about, I don't know, 3 or 4 trades. I was only doing it on the one account. I think it was one that's 400 odd up, I think. Yeah, what I've done is, you can see on here, I've got rid of the account balances. I'm trying to forget the account balances till the end of the month. What I'm finding, see, is sometimes if I trade individual ones, I'm looking for the lower ones, which are these two here. So the rest I've locked off. But now these two have got a reasonable balance. I'm going to lock these off. So I'm trying not to pay attention because you're constantly looking at the balances. So I'm trying to not look at the balance. It's probably easier said than done. It's like not getting on the scales when you're trying to lose weight. it doesn't always quite work. But I thought if I try and not focus on the balance and just focus on the trades, and then a week before the end of the month, just then have a look and see how we get on. So I've got this from here. Touching fine there, touching there, small break, 2 pushes, new high. Now let's see what happens here. This is losing traction for me. I think now this is going to start to come down because we've had a small break. I mean, there's always a possibility of something slightly, something slight like that, but I don't think so. This is where, once we get to these levels here, this is where I'm thinking if it goes much higher than this, then it may be reversing, I don't know, but this is kind of the area, that I think it'll kind of go, well, I thought that there, but we've had a little break and a couple of pushes up, so there is a failure there, actually. There's a second entry long, it ticked up by 1 tick, second entry long, triggered, came straight down, stopped out. So this is where I expect the turn now. If it continues on up, then it's game over. Still got to be careful because it could still go up. There may be something wider. I don't think there is, but it's always possible. So bearish bar there, triggered, pushed up. You can't go short here at the moment, really. For me, it's really got to get below that EMA. Mind you, if you look at that, if you took that short, you're thinking you're going to get stopped out. You probably will, but big bullish bar, it triggered above and started to come down. So you got a bit of a false promise there. So it's just getting a bit congested here now. So too close to the highs. Yeah, it's hard to know. See, we're at this crunch area, aren't we? That one there, it's quite a large bar, isn't it? And when you see it trigger and come back, for me, that's vulnerable. I always like those bars where the body is tight on that EMA with a wick below, but I think, well, you don't know, dear, but this looks a bit like Trap City to me. I wouldn't want to be in anything here. Mind you, you have got the, well, if you did take it, at least you got the opportunity to get out. You don't always have that, do you? What size is that bar? It's not cheap, is it? So, yeah, 4 3/4 is still quite pricey. It is coming down, that ATR, but it is stacking here a bit. Now, this support here, you can see it, a couple of pushes up. You know, there may be traders trying to push this right down or something, but this is the area where it's going to struggle to get up. We may get 2 legs back and then it may push. It's hard to say, really. It's a toss of a coin here for me, I think. What I will say is price is holding above the EMA, but when it stacks like that, it can so quickly turn. Another thing I look at as well is there's more bulls in here than there are bears. Certainly in this section here. If you took anything there, you're probably already out by now anyway, but there's, you know, probably some buyers there, possibly down here as well. So in so many cases, I don't think they're strong positions. And I trade little bits on this. I'll see things like that and I'll think I'll sell it here and just put me stop at the bottom of there or at the bottom of there. And it really works. If I got in short here, for instance, let's say I got in short there and I had my stop there and I put my profit here, my stop up here. I'll just put it where I think these bars are going to get stopped out. Now, I wouldn't do that with all my accounts, but if I've got a fair idea that there's 2 weak positions here and I jump in here, I'll put my profit here because most times it works. So my stop would be up here, so it'd be smaller risk than profit. But let's see if it works. So that's where my stop would be, probably there. So, mind you, it is holding, so it wouldn't have worked. I mean, to be honest, fair, I wouldn't have traded like this anyway because its price is holding, what's it? But look at that, we pushed straight up and then reversed. But that's the type of thing I look for where there's vulnerable trades. Even so, if you'd have taken that one or even that one, you've not got a huge amount there. So it would have to hit there for me, but price is holding here at the moment. So I suppose it's a case of if there's more buyers and sellers, it'll go up, or more volume from buyers or sellers. But you can see there is support across here. So I'll be inclined to squeeze that out a little bit there and to say they're slightly bigger. So there's our break. New extreme. It would have worked. Trouble is, once it starts doing that, it's not a nice feeling sitting through there. I'm surprised it didn't get stopped out purely and simply because it's the wick is on that EMA. You know, I think I prefer it to be sitting like this. I find they're a lot stronger. But it's quite cheap liquidity for me, that is. So I'd expect that to get stopped out and these bits here. So same again, we had a drop and then a quick shoot up, but so far price hasn't closed below that line. But when it goes sideways, that becomes less reliable. And a lot of times it will pick off these areas. The more you sit and watch these day by day, you just start to pick up that pattern of the way things work. But if you did get in there or even there, at least you had multiple opportunities to get out. Same again, it's struggling to close below there. Well, I didn't think that would happen. I thought that was going to drop quickly. But it just goes to show, doesn't it? Nothing's guaranteed. Okay, so break. New extreme. Certainly could be. When it starts to go sideways, it does make these trades a lot more precarious. If I'm expecting a new extreme, so many times I'd be looking for any way to get in there. And when it slowly grinds, I mean, luckily it didn't grind for long before we had that good push. But so many times I'd be looking for a trade here just to make a new extreme, and it would flush down and it would infuriate me. But, you know, the more times something happens to you, you do start to learn when to stay out and when it is slowly grinding high. What I will say is since here, actually, we haven't been able to close below that EMA. So that's one thing got going for long positions. But this may continue higher now. It's got above all this, stopped out any stops at maybe here, with the exception of this one. Straight back to the EMA and straight up again, so it may continue up. So I was just looking for something maybe like this. So there may be a spike and channel up. I don't think it looks terrible. It doesn't look bad. Absorbing heavily at the top. Start to initiate, so it will drop to a new low. Yeah. So actually, we're right off this 50% mark there. So we've had a little push up there and a little pullback. Let's see if this stalls as well. So yeah, we're a point off it or so, aren't we? Yeah, I've got stopped out in these before. It comes down, ticks that out, bounces here and moves up. It's kind of stuck in the middle there. Fortunately, it didn't get stopped out. Yeah, Thomas Ways just put that on 2 minutes ago, so he's kind of looking at the same thing. Oh, there we go. 22. Oh, he's just put that on now, so he's kind of looking at the same thing. We haven't got... That was Dan's recent one. So he's changed this a bit. He's got a small break there. He didn't have that earlier. Where's his previous chart? There's... Oh, no, he did. Or did he? Sure he didn't have one earlier. Yeah, he didn't have a break there, and then he brought that down. So he's got that now as a break. Doesn't do anything on my chart. We got nice touches right there and there, so I don't know. I mean, there's no guarantees, you know, and in most cases it had a good push down and tried to, but then it just shot off, so at least that ATR's down a little bit. I like it under 3. We're not far away. Usually when we get into these little trends, it does get a little bit smaller. Just started selling. See how far this thing goes then. Well, the buyers can keep this propped up. I certainly wouldn't take that. A lot of times it'll trigger that and stop down. I'd like to see a leg with a break. Having said that, how far has that come back? 50% level. I mean, it's triggered above it a few times and then reject. Well, yeah, I suppose you could call that rejected off it more or less. Pushed up, drop, pushed up, drop, pushed up, crossed over, dropped straight down. So maybe it will come down. Because it fits nice, I'd still like it to at least make an attempt to make a new extreme, because we've got multiple touches there. And it fits along that midline reasonably well and at the top as well. So channel break, new low. So that trend's played out. There's going to be liquidity here. You can bet yourself there for sure. Then there, maybe here, possibly here. Well, you're right, Tony. Okay, leg and a leg. That's cleared out a lot of liquidity here. It didn't go as far as there. We've got a break of a channel, 2 legs back, little bullish bar. So far, that's intact. Sometimes it'll hold, so let's put that there. I'm hoping it doesn't break below that before it tries to make a new extreme. I'm certainly not thinking about going long at the moment, but just in case, you know, obviously with this big push down spike and channel, it could come down, make a new low. It's gone quite a distance. It seems quite a distance, but it's only 50%. So I still like to give it a chance to make a new extreme. I'm certainly not getting involved in a trade because we've hit this 50% level and pull back. So, but it does look like it's having a good go. Okay, it comes on to extreme. Let's see what happens here. If it breaks above there, let's see if it turns. Okay, it's definitely finding some a little bit of resistance there. Touch, 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 touch. I'm guessing that is vulnerable. Let's see how this finishes. I still don't want to take that at the moment, but I'm guessing that's going to get stopped out. Yeah, the trouble is you don't know if it's going to break and then push up. There's going to be some stops there. Break and a push up. It's bound to be. I was tempted to take that. It was just 16 ticks and it's a little bit congested. So I just gave it a miss. And rightly so as well. So I don't think I'd have got out there. No, I wouldn't have done, I don't think. It's got to push through, so it's just too early to take a short there, really. We are struggling, but you got to give it a bit of time. Tempting, but staying out of it. just stacked up now. Could shoot up, could come down. I mean, there's going to be some stops there, I don't doubt it, up here. But we pushed up, then we dropped back a bit. We are struggling. Has it got the legs to push up? I'm expecting this. So you could say 1, 2, 3 triple test. You could say break 1, 2, 3, 3 attempts to push up. You're done, are you? Good on you, buddy. Triple test to go short, triple test to go long, leg up, sideways, leg up. Usually we get that push up, we go sideways, we get that push up to here somewhere. So, oh well, there we go. So yeah, you take it easy. You'll have a good day, buddy. So we're going to get this drop. So new extreme by a tick or two. Okay, excuse me just for a second. That ain't going to happen. So if it was anything like this, it did continue up. So maybe it's just going to shoot up. You never know. Well, there you go. That surprised me. I didn't think we'd get up there. Excuse me a sec. Let's have a look, see what people have got. So Dan's got that with a break. So I think we got to treat this as a separate entity, I think. Kind of a second entry. I just don't like the bar. It's too far from the EMA. Down here, maybe. The trouble is, we've had this channel with a break, 2 pushes. Well, I mean, I think it's continued on that, but that to me is super vulnerable, I think. I wouldn't be surprised if that got stopped out. It's floating right in the middle of this 2-tiered channel. It is a second entry long, but it's not a very good one. It's too far from the EMA, too far from the bottom of the channel. That's if it is a channel. So for me, I think it's more likely going to get stopped out. Let's move down. So I prefer this to come down, stop out that and have a bounce here. So if you took that, you'd have got 2.5 points. No good for me. I go for 3. As soon as that started coming back, that's for me. I'll be thinking about getting out that personally. It's not a great bar. It's too far from the EMA, too far from the bottom of the channel. Two legs back. Tempting, that is.
Order submitted.
I'd have preferred to take out that stop though. Hopefully we will. Yeah, good. Now let's see what happens. See if we get a long now. It's gone too far. No. It's not the worst bar in the world. You could say triple test. It's just not finished right. It's touched that EMA and pulled back. I like the idea we got 2 legs, but it's too weak.
Order cancelled.
I think a fail breakout would be better. I don't mind that. It's working as 2-tiered channel. I don't think it's terrible. Thomas Wade's got that. Let's see what else. kind of a leg and a leg. See what happens here. No good. No good. First spike and channel. Down break even. Yeah, so done now. Let's get rid of it. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's just kill the colour so it's an area of interest. So he's got that now as a channel down. So, yeah, the first spike and a channel down as break even. Okay. So, let's get rid of that. You said he had the first spike and channel down as break new extreme. So spike and channel, break new extreme, and a retest. So this could turn, couldn't it? So I'll leave that there a second just in case it does move from there, because I don't think it looks terrible. But we have kind of got what I originally had anyway, something like that with a break. So, I mean, I certainly wouldn't want to take a long here, but it'd be interesting to see if it does hold there. What I will say is Thomas Wade's got that. And I see Thomas Wade, me and Thomas Wade have always kind of had similar channels. But Dan has quite different channels. And what I'm finding is Dan seems to be more accurate. So what I'm finding, I'm spending less time looking at Thomas's. And that's not a bad thing on Thomas. You know, he does okay, makes money. He's a consistent trader. As far as I'm concerned, he deserves my respect. Anybody who makes money in this business, I take my hat off to, because I know they've done the due diligence and I know they've had tough times. But I do seem to find more value from Dan's charts. But sometimes I disagree out of curiosity, because I actually don't mind that. But I wouldn't take a long. In other words, I know he's got that was a break, but sometimes these things will just work. But it works as a spiking channel, and I don't think it's working terrible as maybe a bigger channel. Now, don't get me wrong, if this thing bounces in, goes up to the top, comes down, Dan may change it to this. But I think Dan's looking more short term. I'm thinking about probably too far ahead, to be honest with you. I think we're about the first spike and channel down. We didn't retest. Mac as a different spike and channel. So that's the problem with us, Chad. We can't share. Let's get rid of that. We can't share. It is frustrating that we can't share charts on YouTube. I don't know why. You'd think YouTube would do something that you could drop it and you could just have a small square and you could open it up and have a look. That's the down shot. Sometimes it's easy. It sounds a lot easier than it is explaining what someone's chart's got to be, what someone's looking at. You know what I mean? But yeah. See, I think that's how high I had it. It's on Ban's Discord. Oh, Dan's Discord. Let's have a look. So I'll tell you what, easiest thing is me. So you're gonna make something like that, are you, bud? I think that's how I initially had it, wouldn't I? And then we had that break, no extreme. Is that what you're looking at, Chad? Is it? Can't see any others. Dan had that. I think that's what I initially had. And then when we had a break, I brought it down. He posted a picture of Max, did he? Is that Max or not? No. Let's have a look. Not that one. That's today. That's Max, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So he had that. He had that. Right, okay. I wonder why Dan changed this. It's because of Max. So we got a break and attempt at a new low. So, okay, gotcha. So we'll leave that like that then. So that's where, yeah, it was. So let's bring that down to about there, something like that. That's about right, isn't it? Well, somewhere along those lines. We've had a break at New Extreme anyway. So yeah, this is, looks like it may be working down. Trouble is, when it's like this, sometimes it's easy to read. Other times you can mess around all day and still not quite kind of get somewhere right. So I like that. That is an overshoot, or maybe an overshoot. Let's bring it down. It doesn't fit terribly along that midline, certainly this section, so it may be okay. Yeah, it's not an exact science, this, is it? There's kind of some variables. And I will say, Mac sometimes has the oddest looking channels, really shallow ones sometimes, but they kind of seem to work. They just kind of don't feel natural. But it's, you know, I think what you got to tell yourself is, Mac's been doing this for 25 years. Who do you want to listen to? Do you know what I mean? Do you want to listen to yourself, or do you want to listen to someone who's been there and done it? You know, you might think you kind of know better, but it's like being a parent, isn't it? Your kids think your parents don't know what it's like to, you know, my daughter says, you know what it's like being a 16-year-old? Yeah, I do. I was there. So was my wife. Kids think you just don't get them, don't they? And who knows, they might be right, but kids always know better. So, possibly 2 legs up and then a drop, or is this a break New Extreme? Trouble is, if it does continue up, then in a lot of cases there is some kind of a bigger channel. So whether it would end up being something like this and something like that, it wouldn't be absurd, would it? But I think really as a patch trader, it's more important. I don't know, sometimes I spend so much time concentrating on what the bigger trade is, when at the end of the day, it's kind of irrelevant to a degree. It's more important about the small stuff. So that looks nice. Maybe an overshoot, but it does fit okay there. It kind of picks up that. It's too early to take anything like that. It is 2 legs up, but it's a tick off a doji, and it's sat on that midline. Really, I'd rather a break and then maybe a lower higher of failure. But this thing could continue on up. It is kind of 2 legs. But it's not, as I say, it's not an exact science, is it? So if you took that one, I think that's going to take you out, isn't it? For you up. It's magic again. Yeah, it's weird how it touch more or less close enough, isn't it? And then off again. I'd certainly think currently this thing is more bullish at the moment. We've had that spike in a channel, and we had a break, and we had an attempt at a new low, and there was a bit of sideways there, but it does seem like we're likely pushing up. I mean, really, over the last few days, this thing really, you know, slightly blown out, but it is more or less just ranging. It's going up, it's coming down. So you kind of got to think, I'd like another leg down here. Because this is a bit unusually looking. I'd like to see something like that. And then up to these highs. And that may then, if it did that, that may then coincide with that, somewhere along those lines. Whether it does turn into that or not, who knows? But it kind of doesn't look absurd, does it? What I may do is let's put something like that. I meant to message you last night, Tony. I was thinking about these crypto wallets. Trouble is, some of them you can only use certain what do they call it? Like Solana as a like a channel through, doesn't it? You can send it through Solana, you can send it through Bitcoin, you can send it through I sound thick, then what am I thinking of? What do you call it? Your route, the route it takes. Can't think. Gone blank. Blockchain. No, what's the word? You can send it through the Solana network, is or something like that. What am I thinking of? See, I was looking at Coinbase. Coinbase, I think they do HBAR, so I can't send it from my Revolut account. So I'd have to sell it on the Revolut, transfer the money over to Coinbase, buy it in Coinbase, and then send it to a wallet via there, which is kind of a bit long-winded. I'd like to hold on to this. I've only got 1,000 quid's worth. It's not a huge amount. I'd like to hold on to this HBAR. Certainly until it doubles. What I tend to do is if it doubles, I'll sell my original amount, which I get my money back, and then it's kind of, you're not really risking anything as such there. But I hear a lot of good things about HBAR, so I would like to hold it for I don't know, a year, 2 years, 5 years, or whatever. A little bit, anyway. I got my wife. No, I tell you, I got my wife to buy some Doge at 5. We'd forgotten all about it, to be fair. Doge at 5. I think it was 5 cents. It was only about £250. We've forgotten all about it, to be honest with you. We bought it on. Is it Trading 212? Not Trading 212. Who's the other one? I forget. It's about £250. I think it may have been a year or two ago, year and a half ago, something like that. I think it was 5 cents, put 250. It's up a bit, that. Forgotten all about it, actually. We were talking about it last night. Where is Doge now? Yeah, it's gone up. There we go. We've got £1,000 there. We bought it at 5 cents something. I think it was 5 cents, something like that. No, it can't have been. It might have been. No. Oh, no, I think it was about 7 or 8. We'll have to have a look. Yeah, the blockchain network. Yeah. You can send it through certain channels, can't you? Whether it's Solana or so on and so forth. So it has. I don't think that looks terrible, actually. I don't think that looks bad. It's not the worst looking channel in the world, is it? Let me just put a proper channel there so I can see that middle line. Kind of picks off here. We got kind of, well, if you think about this, we got kind of 2 legs back and then it comes up and bounces and bounces. So it doesn't look terrible. It's fitting not too bad around the middle line. Actually, it fits quite nice. We've had 2 little rejections there and there. So actually, I don't think that looks too bad. I don't know about you guys think. Let me just take a snap of this. It's not terrible. We have, yeah, you can see it there. It fits okay there and there. And here as well, we've had a couple of just popped up and nicked it and dropped. Trouble is, doesn't necessarily help you, does it? But leg down, leg down. I'd like to see something like that, and then up a bit more. Anybody else got this Pi coin? Anybody else involved in this Pi network? I got involved in it a couple of years ago. Someone sent me an invite. I've just completed the KYC last night. I've got about 1,000 coins or tokens, whatever they are, and I think it's at just under $2. Kind of strikes me, you know, when you get something for free and you kind of think it sounds a bit too good to be true. I actually don't think it looks terrible. It fits the midline reasonably well. We've had 2 little bounces off it. Definitely seems to play a part. I don't mind that. Dip below the EMA looks like a start. The measured move, second leg up. How you doing, Kirk? All right, buddy. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, make a cup of tea. After 3 for 3, good on you, mate. Okay. I'm just going to take a quick 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, make a cup of tea, and I will be back. Okay. Right, is it working? So. Uh, Dan's got an unusual chart there. He's got that. Sure about that. Well, if anything, it's going up, so we're at least aiming in the right direction. So we have a leg and leg back. See how it reacts to this again. Yeah, I was just wondering what it was going to do here. I do wonder whether this is more of a range. Spike and channel with a break new high, maybe 2 attempts to push higher. That would be a penguin style way of looking at it. 1, 2 attempts to push lower, followed by a move up. I think he's got a new, hasn't he got a new website, Penguin? I think, if I remember rightly. Okay. I was just looking at to see if anybody was on the Discord. I'm still a member of the Discord. See, we got this kind of push up, 2 attempts to push lower. You would tend to think. This could go higher. Let's just drop that back in there again. So, let's just maybe 2 attempts. See how we push off here. It is kind of 2 legs down. I think we have had 2 pushes down, so maybe this is continuing on up now. It's definitely a bit boring today. High and low. It's halfway up, isn't it? Definitely a bit boring today, I will say. Wow, look at that. Anyone buying off there? Woof, straight down. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go long or short off here. I just couldn't tell you what's going on at the moment. For me, it looks a little bit rangy, which may mean 2 pushes down and then a move up. It's hard to say at the moment. I appreciate boring. Really. We still had a fair bit of volume, but not quite as much as we've done in previous days, especially the day before that. I mean, that was a huge amount. Yeah, I'm looking at this. I wouldn't want to buy there. It's just there's nothing there really. You kind of want it to sit like this really, then maybe get a higher low, and it kind of is 2 legs back. But I'd want it to get down here really and maybe stop out some of these. There is a little bullish bar off there, which I think is a good sign because it means it's going to get triggered and come down hopefully. So maybe we may get something. So maybe we get something off here. I prefer to take out maybe this level here, but I prefer to get a bit lower just to kind of trap that bear bar. Okay, it's broke below there and there. Let's see what happens now. Yeah, I'm not interested in anything at the moment, really. I don't like that now. I was hoping it would trigger below these and then turn quickly. Because it kind of does look rangy here, doesn't it? I mean, could this come down and test these lows? Anything's possible. Well, that's interesting. I like that. Wow, okay. I really like that. A lot of buying there, but the trouble is, I don't think you'd have got a chance to get in there. It just flipping took off 10 points straight up. That's the type of thing I was looking for. Stop out some of these and then turn, and it just went woof. Obviously, a lot of buyers in there. Look. Just goes to show who's moving the market. Certainly not us. but it was 2 attempts to push lower and then up. I mean, look at that. We're up 10, 20, 30 points in about 15, 20 seconds. It's frustrating. See, would I taken that? Possibly. It broke below there and quite a strong move. You're probably going to hit stops there. I don't think it was a terrible trade. Well, obviously, quite a few people took it. What's the size? That ATR is still quite high, though. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to be risking that much, really. 7.5 point bar. You get that wrong. I don't think it's news, mate, to be honest with you. It's just 2 legs back with it this level. It's clearly a level where it's reacting to. Once it broke out stops below, for me, there's going to be buyers below there which create that push up like that. That's my thought process anyway. It was kind of what I was looking for, some kind of a bounce here. Hence the penguin style. We move up. We have 2 attempts to push lower. He tends to get into these trades there, although he has changed lately. Once that gets above the EMA, indicating we're likely to continue up. He'd have put his order in maybe here somewhere. That's if he'd have got in. That's quite a size out and out there. Would have worked. Be interesting to see how he reacts to this later. Trouble is, it was up and gone before you'd even had a chance to think about it, to be honest with you. So the only way into those trades is if to have just orders sat here waiting to be picked up from a price action point of view. I mean, it was up and across before you'd have even had time to drag in your order. So unfortunately, it's just one of those things there, isn't it? Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Come on, then. Come on. Good. You're looking at that. That's nice, isn't it? Very nice. Hey. That's nice. Going back down here. So we coming back down to the bottom. Certainly not as quick as we came up. I think it's probably likely. Unless we have 2 legs down, we pull back so far and then off we take. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes when we have that strong move, it never quite comes back. I suppose this push up 2 attempts, you've got traders looking to continue that on, I think, haven't you? I wonder if that'll push up or come down. My guess is if I was going to bet on that, I'd rather go long than short. Not that I'd want to take it. We've got so far back after the strong move up there. I think there's buyers wanting to continue that higher. So my guess is it's going to push up, certainly taking out these areas. But if it takes out these areas here, it'll continue up, I think. Yeah, kind of what I expected. I'll tell you what might help us, the 10,000 tick chart. Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. We had that push up, 2 attempts to push, strong move up, and a higher low there. I don't know whether that'll work. Maybe triple test off the bottom, leg up, 2 attempts to push higher. Lower. For me, this is going up. We'll see anyway. I think I'm going to knock it on the head there. I'm just bored, actually. How long have we been going for now? Not the easiest of days today. How long have we been going for? Just 2 hours and 10 minutes. I'm just getting bored. So I'm going to leave it there, folks. We're popping out later anyway, so share on that. So I'll leave you guys to it. So what I did yesterday, because I didn't take a trade, is I just took a micro. I had a 3-tick risk and a tick which works for $2 or whatever. So I tend to just do a micro. You're welcome, guys. Best of luck if you're carrying on. It's just not easy today. That ATR is close to 5. You can cause you a lot of aggro this. So I'm going to ditch it for the day. So have a great evening, guys. Best of luck. Stay safe, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Bye for now.